We'll start the session in next 2 minutes.
Okay, ma'am.
A very good evening to all of you. So welcome to today's session of motivation. Now, as we have discussed in the last session, what is motivation and why motivation plays an important role. So in the last few sessions, we have discussed about the desire of motivation, some of the common reasons why we should get motivated to achieve in our life. And today we are going to discuss, first we are going to discuss about why motivation is important for individual as well as for the organization, how it is important for both. So we'll be discussing about the importance of motivation for an individual as well as to the organization. First, let's talk about the individual. As an individual, why motivation is important? So, first, motivation will help him to achieve his personal goals. Now, when we are motivated, when we have the hunger to get something, the hunger to achieve something, to get our goals done, to accomplish our goal, there the motivation play a very important role. It is a push force which pushes us to go closer to our goals, to achieve our goals more effectively, and that too within the timeline. So motivation helps to achieve his or her personal goals. Next, if an individual is motivated, he will have job satisfaction. Now, motivation is somewhat related to job satisfaction because we have many different basic needs like desire for money, desire for position, desire for status. All those needs are there. And how those needs are satisfied? They are satisfied with the job. So, if the individual is motivated, he will have job satisfaction. He'll be satisfied with what he is getting because he knows that yes, these are the things which I wanted and I am getting that. For example, if for him the reward act as a motivation source, and if he is getting rewarded for his performance, for his good work, for his achievement, for his growth which has impacted, which has good impact on the organization, and he is being rewarded for that, he's been recognized for that, then he'll be satisfied with the job because he is achieving what he wanted to get. And that thing is again motivate him to work beyond that. He will again be motivated to give more than 100% of his efficiency. Whereas motivation will help in self development of individual. Yes, motivation, like when we are motivated with something, it is a development which is going on for us also, because motivation is, it keeps on changing. Today we are motivated, okay, we are just motivated to reduce our weight, right? So that is a development in us. We are fat, and if we want to reduce our weight, we are just being motivated to do that thing. So again, it is the individual development. It is good for us. Now, if we are motivated with the rewards, so we'll get job satisfaction. We are going to get some rewards, and that is again the development of the individual. So motivation will also help in self-development of individual. Next is, an individual would always gain by working with a dynamic team. Now, by working alone, definitely he cannot achieve everything. If we talk about the organization, if we talk about any business, so it is group of people working together in a specific direction. Now, if we will talk about that business, you'll say that, ma'am, business, there are business which are being run by an individual, just one person. But you know, though he is alone running the business, but from where he is getting the raw material, he might be having his suppliers. So again, he is working with them. For example, if the raw material he require for his business, or if the product he require from his business, if the other person is not delivering, then will he be able to deliver that to the customers? No. Will his business survive? No. So that means he is building, he's working in a team with that person to get the required resources. So it is always working together. The individual gain more. Like in the team, for example, a project is to be completed, and it is a group of 5 people who are working on that project. So Mr. X is very good with presentations, but Mr. Y is just good in developing the content. He is not good in delivering that. And Mr. X is good in delivering the content, though he is not that expert when it comes to researching and designing the presentation. So here, both of them can work together and they can deliver. Mr. Y can deliver the content effectively, and Mr. X can get the very good, attractive content and PowerPoint presentation for their project. So this way, both of them, when they'll work together, they are going to gain more and they'll form a dynamic team. So these are the from the individual perspective, that how motivation plays an important role. Now, if we talk about organization, in an organization, how motivation play an important role is, the more motivated the employees are, the more empowered the team is. So if they, like as we talked about motivation, that the individual is motivated, he will have job satisfaction. Same way, if the employees in the organization are motivated, they will work more effectively in the team. They will create a good team, healthy team, and they are going to give best of their productivity because they are feeling motivated. There is a force which is motivating them. And now it can be internal motivation, that is intrinsic motivation, as well as the extrinsic motivation, which they will be getting from the outside sources. So again, when the employees are more motivated, the more empowered the team is going to be more empowered. Second is, the more is the teamwork and individual employee contribution, more profitable and successful is the business. Now, if the teamwork is more, individual contribution is more, then it is going to be more profitable. It is going to be more successful because they'll be generating good profit. They'll be finishing up the work within timeline. They'll come up with creative solution. They'll come up with, they won't have those conflicts. They'll resolve the conflicts. They'll create a healthy environment to work in. So if all these things are there, then ultimately the business is going to grow, the profit is going to increase, and the success of the business can be measured when we are going to see the profit line moving up, the trend going up, and the culture which is going on in a very friendly and a healthy environment. Third is, during period of amendments, there will be more adaptability and creativity. Now, in case if there are some amendments, like in the pandemic, there were a lot of things which were changed, amendments were being brought. So in that situation, they will be open to adapt that thing, and they'll be more creative in working in that environment because they are motivated. A motivated employee is one who is ready to accept the challenges, who is ready to work in the changing atmosphere also, and all these things. How to make the employee move in that direction is in the hands of the leader. Leader is a person who gives them the motivation to adapt the things, to bring creativity, to work efficiently, to give the desired results on time. All these things are being done by the motivation which they receive from the leader. So in case of amendments, a motivated employee will be able to adapt that thing and will find creative ways to overcome that, to do the things. And the last is, motivation will lead to an optimistic and challenging attitude at workplace. Yes, when you are motivated, you will challenge people. You love challenging yourself. Even you will be challenging yourself that, yes, this is what I have been doing and this is what I want to do. I want to reach here. You'll be challenging yourself that, yes, if you have the capability, prove yourself, do this thing. So again, motivation leads to challenging attitude at workplace as well as the optimistic. Now, this was the difference, and now we are going to start with the characteristics of motivation. That is impossible, and I am is being pulled away saying possible. Everything is possible. Everything is possible. For a student to get 99% is possible. For a student scoring 50% in this exam can be the topper in the board exam. A person having 95% throughout his examination, but if at the end he's not paying attention, if he is not concentrating, the percentage might get reduced. A person who has been in studies throughout can learn how to paint. A person who is good in creativity can get the master degree. The only thing is, you need to learn that thing, you need to practice that thing, and you need to tell yourself, train your mind saying that everything is possible. The only thing is, you need to try, you need to stand up again if you fall somewhere, and never give up. If you will try, if you'll stand up, if you'll never give up, so for you it is never going to be impossible, it is always going to be possible. I'm not telling you to be the master of everything. I'm simply telling that even if you learn the basics, that means it is possible for you to learn that thing, it is possible for you to do that thing. Few people, especially when I talk about boys, they used to say that cooking, it's not our cup of tea. We cannot do cooking. For girls, it used to be going out and working or managing family, child. That's not our cup of tea. But if you will see today's trend, a male is good with cooking, a female is good with earning too. A female is having his own identity. She is managing the home, she is managing kids, she is working. A male is also learning. For him, it is now possible to cook because they have learned to do that. They have changed themselves according to the situation. There was some motivation in their life which forced them to try these things, and now they have become perfect too. Many people I have seen who were very good with their job, brilliant with their job, earning very handsome package, but all of a sudden their motivation was changed, their motivation switched to that, no, I don't want to earn now, I just want to explore the country, I just want to go on a bike trip, I just want to explore the world, I want to explore different cultures in India, I want to go for a world tour. They all of a sudden the motivation changes and they simply quit their job and they work in that direction, because it's the motivation which gives you happiness. But yes, your decisions should be sensible also. Okay, a person for whom it is very important to do the job, to have a source of earning, and that person is quitting the job saying that I want to roam around, how will he do that? Decisions should be logical. You should have backup with that thing, and then only take these kind of decisions if there is a switch in motivation. Now, the characteristic. The first characteristic of motivation says motivation is a psychological concept. It has to come from within each individual. You know, can you see the picture where inside the mind thing is going on, is running? So it should be from within. You know, if I'm going to motivate you to run in the race, you may perform good. But if you will tell yourself that I want to win the race, you will give your best. The internal motivation, the self motivation is the most powerful tool. You know, the motivation which we get from outside stays with us for some time. We may forget when someone is going to motivate us, but the motivation which comes from inside, the motivation which is coming, which is forcing us to do something, that time, that motivation is the best motivation to make us move in the desired direction. Anyone, have you ever experienced that the motivation when it came from inside gave you more result than the motivation which came from external forces? Anyone who has ever in the life experienced that thing? Hmm? Anyone? No one? There was no external motivation, no internal motivation for you. Okay. You know, for me, when I was in my college, when I just cleared my college, I got external motivation to do CA. Yeah, I was very motivated that yes, I'm going to be the chartered accountant, and I was in full mood. I just tried my best. I attempted my CPT exam. I enrolled myself for articleship. That was the external motivation which I got. Okay, I was motivated. Then all of a sudden, from within, I realized that I just want to enter into training field. The training, you know, whenever I used to go and attend the training session, they used to catch my attention. I always used to have one thing in mind, that I also want to stand there and address the audience. That was the motivation which came from within. I was doing both the things. I was preparing for my CA, as well as I was uh, training myself to be a good trainer. And you know what? The external motivation didn't lasted with me for long. I failed in CS once, twice, and I simply quit it. Same way, I failed in training zone also. You know, I remember the very first interview I gave. I didn't clear that interview. Again, I went for interview. I didn't clear that, saying that you need to work on your body language, that you need to work on your presentation skills. And I was okay. Okay. Both the places I failed. But first, I simply quit it. I didn't try again. I just packed up everything and I told I'm never going to attempt for CA exam, and the books were out of my house. But training, for which I was self-motivated, the motivation which came from myself, which came from within. I tried my best. I kept on trying, and finally I got my first job as a trainer in my specialized field where I wanted to. The first interview in which I was rejected in the company, in the same company, I applied after a year, and yes, I cracked that interview. So the motivation which comes from inside, no, it is not going to let you sleep. It is going to force you to do that thing, to achieve that thing, to work in that direction. But external motivation won't last forever. Like we have discussed, when you are motivated for money, a stage will come where the money will stop motivating you, right? The rewards will stop motivating you. Motivation will get diverted. Same way, the external forces, external motivation will come to an end one day, but the motivation which comes from within are like the dreams which are not going to allow you to sleep until and unless you achieve that. Second, there are two desiring factors in motivation. What are the desiring factors? The first is fundamental needs such as food, clothes, and shelter. That is the basic need for which we are being motivated and we work to get that thing, right? Second is ego satisfaction such as recognition from others, self-development, etc. You might have seen that whenever we group of people go out, there might be just one person in the group who just who just love to show off the thing, maybe the brands, maybe the accessories, whatever, but something they just love. They just want that the people around me should recognize that thing, should see that thing, should say something about that thing. So that is ego satisfaction. Now when it comes to, that was in terms of personal life. When it comes to organization, so here if one person had got recognition and if we didn't got recognition, so we'll be working hard because it has touched our ego, it has hurted our ego. Then how can he get recognized and why I was not recognized? So we will work in that direction. We will try to learn all the skills necessary, all the possible ways we will do. We will even sacrifice our nightmares just to give best in the project, so that next time it's we who is being recognized, not the other person, not the other team. So yes, that is ego satisfaction. Just want to satisfy our ego by recognition from others, by self-development, and that is the second type of desiring factor in motivation. The last is inner motivation can be more decisive than any external influence. As I told you, it is more decisive than any other external influence. You know, many people keep on influencing us. They'll tell us do this, and you know, we initially we will like that, right? Whenever it's the time to select the career, what happens? What happens? People will advise us, we'll listen to them, we might move in that direction, but sooner or later we will realize that no, it's not our cup of tea. We just selected the wrong thing. We'll again get back to the thing which we like. So that is the external force. Inner motivation can be more decisive because it is definitely going to give you a desired result. It focuses on producing a definite result. As I told you that for me, my inner motivation was to be a trainer. It was a decisive one where I was just working to get the defined result. And that is inner motivation, not the external influence. Next, goals are motivators. Are the goals acting as a motivation source? Yes, they do act as a motivation source too. Goals and motives are inseparable. We cannot separate them. If we have set the goals, these are the goals who are pushing us, motivation is pulling us. So goal is in front of us, which is pulling towards it. Motivation is standing at the back, which is pushing from behind to reach the goal. So that's why goal and motivation, goals and motives are inseparable. They work hand in hand, they work together. Second, man works to achieve the goal, and once achieved, he loses his interest. Yes. So for me, my goal is to reduce 10 kg of weight, and I've reduced the weight. Okay. Now after 2 months, 3 months, my weight is reduced. Now I have achieved the goal. I don't have any interest. Now I'm not going to work towards reducing the goal, right? It's essential to know goal to push them to work. Now there should be such goal which is pushing you towards the goal. That is why their motivation is going to come into existence, where it is constantly pushing you towards it. It is constantly, like the goal is something which you have achieved, but again something else is motivating you. You have changed your goal. That is how we say goals are the motivators. When the goals keeps on changing, that keeps on motivating us from time to time. So motivation and goals both don't remain constant. They keep on changing and they are inseparable. The third characteristic is motivation affects the whole individual, not part of him or her. Motivation is about everything. Like in the initial first characteristic, we have learned that motivation, it can be for food, basic needs. It can be for ego satisfaction. There, so it is affecting the overall individual, overall identity of the individual, not only a part of a person. So a person's basic needs determine to a great extent what he will try to do at any given point of time. So for initially, when we talk about, we'll be talking about the theories of motivation. There we will see that in one theory, it is there are 5 different stages where the first motivation factor is to fulfill your basic needs. Now here, we just want to work in the direction where we get enough money with which we can fulfill our basic need. Now, basic need when we talk about basic need, it says your clothes, your good, your shelter, your food. All these things are fulfilled. Basic education, these things are fulfilled, and that is the basic need which every individual have. So, for up to great extent, it is just about fulfilling the basic need. But when you fulfill the basic need, then you will move to the next level of motivation. So all these needs are interrelated because each individual is an integrated, organized whole. So that means all these needs, all these things are interrelated. Like if I want to have a good shelter, that means I need to earn money. So money is going to act as a motivation force, and along with that, shelter, having a house is also going to act as a motivation source. I have to pay the fees for my child. So that is a motivation thing that is motivating, like it is saying that, come on, do that thing. I want to see, I am seeing my child in one of the most reputed schools. That can act as a motivation source. Other people whom we are seeing can act as a motivation source. So it can be anything. It can be a thing. It can be a person who is motivating you to do something in your life, who is giving you, showing you a path. That is the goal as well as the motivation. Motivation is never an unending process. What does this mean? It is never going to end. Today we are working for basic needs. Today we will work for luxury. Then we will work for job satisfaction. Then we will work for status. Then we will work for recognition. Then we will work for having power. Then we will work for having a very relaxed and very luxurious, peaceful life. So it keeps on continuing. There is no end towards motivation. That today it's going to end tomorrow. If we achieve this, then no motivation. If we achieve that, then no motivation. No, it's a continuous process. It will start from here, it will again come here. Till the time you reach here, you will have another motivation source. Again, you will complete the cycle. So first, a man is a social animal. Why social animal? He is having lot of needs, lot of wants, which keeps on increasing. Today, my need is to have a double bed, normal double bed, that will work. Tomorrow, my need is going to have a round shape bed. Today, my need is to have a two-wheeler to go to office. Tomorrow, my need is going to be have a four-wheeler car, four-wheeler. Now, after four-wheeler, I am still not satisfied. Okay, after some time, I want a luxurious car. I want a big car. I want Ferrari. I want BMW. So that need and wants keeps on increasing. If you are moving one step, you'll see another one step you want to take. If you will go to that, when you are at the bottom, you'll see when I'll reach step 5, I'll be satisfied. As soon as you reach 5, you keep on increasing one step every time to reach to a more to reach to higher level. So that's why we say man is a social animal, and as a social animal, he has innumerable wants which induce him to work. And yes, this is the only reason which is forcing us to work in a specific direction which is motivating us. Wants are innumerable and cannot be satisfied at one time. There are so many. What all things you are going to satisfy? You cannot satisfy all your wants, all your needs at just one time, right? There are so many, so many. If you're going to count, you'll have that I'm having the want, the need of basic things, then luxurious things, then the support, then I have the need of having a good social circle, then it's my need that I want to have some recognition in the society, I want to hold some position in the organization, I want to have some specific designation, or I want to be the director of the organization, I want to start something of my own. So many, it keeps on increasing, it keeps on changing. As soon as you achieve one, you will see next already standing behind that need or want. So they are innumerable and cannot be satisfied at one time. Motivation is an unending process. It is never going to end. It keeps on moving continuously throughout the life cycle. It is same as the time, the clock. It is never going to stop. It keeps on moving, same as the motivation. It keeps on moving. The importance of motivation is to keep it alive and not to let it dwindle. What do you understand by this line? That the importance of motivation is to keep it alive. Why you want to keep your motivation alive? Why you want to keep your motivation alive? Because if we are going to keep our motivation alive, then we will be working in some specific direction, we'll be trying to achieve something. Yes, do not let it dwindle. Do not make it gradually making it small. Do not like today you are having a motivation, big motivation of earning a big house. Then all of a sudden when you think that no, I'm unable to do that, don't dwindle it. Don't make it small and say, okay, for me 1 BHK, 2 BHK will also work. If you have that thing, if you have ever seen your goal is that, have that motivation force which is forcing you to achieve that thing. Okay, don't stop if you are unable to achieve that. Try until you don't get succeed, and that is called as motivation. When something will come from inside, it is never going to stop you until and unless you don't achieve that thing in your life. It is something, motivation is something which initiates, which guides you, which maintains your goal-oriented behavior. It keeps you moving towards achieving your goal. That is motivation. So keep your motivation alive, because if it will dwindle, if it will die, your goal will also die. As you can see in the picture, motivation can be of attitude, support, perception, status. All these things are the motivational forces which are pulling you, pulling you towards itself, which are telling you just come and take me, come and grab me. If you are a goal-oriented person, if you want to achieve your desired goals, short-term as well as long-term, then your motivation should be there. Motivation is the only force which will help you to achieve your desired goals. If you are not motivated, no, so you won't be working effectively. As I told you, motivation is a force which keeps you alive, which keeps you working. But if you're not motivated, then as soon as you just get a chance to run away from that situation, you'll simply run away from there. And that is how the people who are not motivated in the life do. If you will ask them to say that why you waking up early in the morning, they'll simply say because office, we have to reach office. Why you have to reach office? We have to earn because we have to pay our bills, we have to pay our expenses, we have to pay my monthly expense, I have to pay the educational fee, I have to take care of the medical expenses. That is the reason I am going and I'll be working. That is the reason I woke up early in the morning to get ready. But the person who is motivated from their job will say, I have to give my best. My organization is working for me to give more efficiency. My organization is waiting for me to complete my task, which is going to be helpful for their growth. So that is the motivation thing. And where here motivation is that my organization, if I'm going to give best to them, if I'm going to give my efficiency, if I'm going to deliver my work on time, that too efficiently and effectively, they will give me, they'll satisfy my motivation, they'll give me rewards, they'll give me recognition, they'll give me promotion. That keeps me motivated to wake up in the morning, to get ready with full of energy and go to the office. So that's why we say that never let your motivation die, always keep it alive. Any doubts related to all these three characteristics? Doubts?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So there are almost 4 more characteristics of motivation, which we will be discussing in the next session. So any other doubts related to motivation or any session which you have skipped and you have gone through in the video, you can ask, or else are we good to wind up the session? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay then. Okay, bye-bye. Take care. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Welcome. Okay. So that was all about motivation. In the next session of motivation, we'll be discussing further about some of the characteristics, as in non-fulfillment of basic need. When we are unable to fulfill basic need, that acts as a motivation. Then motivation produces goal-directed behavior. As I told you, motivation is the force which is always pushing you from behind to achieve your goals. So that is why we say that motivation produces goal-oriented behavior. And motivation can be positive as well as negative. How you are taking it depends on you, and it is a complex process. All these things we will be discussing in the next session of motivation. Till then, bye bye, take care, have a good day.